Well, returning to another of our top stories now, Australia has delivered a resounding no to an Indigenous voice to Parliament. Some see this referendum's defeat as a stumbling block for future referenda without bipartisan support, namely a vote on whether Australia becomes a republic. Joining us now is Isaac Jeffrey, CEO of the Australian Republican Movement. Isaac, I appreciate your time. Thank you. I know that the ARM has been really watching how the campaigning has gone in the lead up to the Voice, and will be analysing the results very closely. What does the weekend tell us about the likelihood of future referendums getting up in this country?
Yeah, g'day, Ashley. Thank you. It's good to be with you. Look, it's not a surprise, I think, with the polling, how it was in the lead up to the referendum that we got the result that we did. We had members within the ARM who were very strong yes supporters. We had members who were very strong no supporters as well. And the thing that I take out of that is that this isn't a setback for the Republic. It isn't a setback for future referenda. It's a setback for the voice. Each and every referendum needs to be taken to the people on its merits, and they should be given the opportunity to have their say, which is exactly what's happened over the weekend.
We know that Anthony Albanese has said that the Republican referendum isn't something that he would look at tackling until a second term. But in terms of the politics here, I mean, after using so much political capital on this voice issue, are you worried that the appetite to make the Australians go to the polls again for another referendum will have really faded away by then?
Look, I think Peter Dutton was right this morning when he mentioned that people are probably a little bit sick of thinking about referendums at the moment. This one is only a couple of days past, so it's certainly understandable that people wouldn't want to be thinking about a referendum for another couple of years. But what I would say is that our most recent polling suggests that there are only 8% of the country who are rusted on monarchy supporters. The rest are either members of the Republic movement or are supporters of the Republic movement, or are very much open to it. So we think that there is certainly a strong appetite amongst the Australian community for a republic, obviously, if we get the model right. And that's something that we're going to be doing over the next couple of years, going around the country, meeting with Australians, regardless of where they live, regardless of their background, regardless of their political allegiance, to have a conversation about what a people's model of a republic looks like, so that we can then take that to a referendum.
Yeah, and that's an important point, isn't it? Because a big cry from the No campaign was that there was a lack of detail. Plenty of Australians really did seem to feel like there wasn't enough detail about what a voice would look like. In terms of what you can learn from that No campaign, does that make you feel that if there was to be a referendum on a Republic issue, that it would really need to be laid out in every detail as to what that would look like and how it would work?
Yeah, look, I think that's right. I think we have to make sure that people understand what it is that we're proposing. People want to know the detail. They want to know what those important elements are, and it's completely understandable. It's an important document, the Constitution. It governs how we are governed, and so people really want to know what's involved and what's it all about. And so we're going to be spending a lot of time over the next couple of years really shaping that model and then communicating it. I think the other thing that's difficult is that communication is a lot harder these days. You wouldn't think so with all of the gadgets and all of the things that we've got out there in the world, that we are supposed to live in a more connected society, but it's actually made us a lot more disconnected. And so figuring out how to get messages to people and get it in front of them. They don't read the newspapers anymore, and sadly they don't watch Sky News as much as they used to. So it's a lot more of a difficult task to get those points across. So we're going back to basics. We're going to be doing town halls. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of community engagement on the ground in regional communities, in outer suburbs, in the capital cities, talking to people about what the model should look like. And that's our plan so far.
And so, Isaac, do you think that it could, though, get up, a Republican referendum, without bipartisan support? How crucial is that aspect of having bipartisan support in order for a referendum to be successful?
Yeah, look, bipartisan support, if you look at the 8 referenda that have passed, is incredibly important. No referendum has passed without that bipartisan support. But look, I'm confident that we can have those conversations, and we've started having those conversations with all of the parliament, not just the government, but with all sides of the parliament. There are plenty of members of the Republic movement and supporters of the Republic movement who are actually members of the coalition, of the crossbench, and of the Labor Party. And there's plenty of bipartisan support there. So look, I think that there are ways that we can have those conversations and to bring people along for the ride, because that bipartisanship is already there to some extent, and so we need to have those conversations.
Isaac Jeffrey, really appreciate you joining us. Thank you. Another referendum, clearly a way off, but it's certainly food for thought for our political leaders. Appreciate your time. Thank you.